Hey everybody, so today I'm going to get a little bit meta on you. I'm going to talk to you about the theory of human status and how it drives human beings. And more importantly, I'm going to relate this to how you can be a more effective B2B content producer and B2B marketer. I want to break this down for you because I've written a really big piece of work, which is my latest thinking on B2B psychology, which combines a number of things, including what I'm going to talk about today. And I co-authored that with a colleague called Lisa at The Brains, which is my lead generation agency. So I really invite you, if you're interested in how you can make your content and your marketing stand out above everybody else who's also pushing out content, then this is going to be a really, really interesting document for you to read. It's stuff that you will not find anywhere else on the internet. And you can get it in the description box below. There will be a link, and you can go and get it for free. So let's talk about what human status is. Basically, all human beings are seeking to become happy. Yeah. That sounds like a strange thing to start a video with. I mean, if you need any proof of this, just go and figure out why you do the things you do. Everything that you're trying to do is to increase your happiness. And happiness is effectively you closing the gap between where you are and where you would like to be. So whenever a human being feels that they are progressing towards the idealized version of themselves in the future, the better they are. And the further away they perceive or actually are getting away from those goals, the worse off they feel. And this is where a lot of anxieties and depression can come up. It's when people actually subconsciously or consciously see themselves sliding away from this sort of idealized version of themselves. You can think about it usually in three different dimensions. We have relationships, we have health, and we have wealth. These are the three kind of big areas that human beings measure their success. So do I look good? Do I have a healthy body? That would be health. Wealth would be, do I have a lot of money? Do I have fancy clothes? Do I have nice cars? The other bit of this would be relationships. Do I have a loving relationships? Am I on good terms with my family? This is all the three areas where we're generally trying to improve or would like to be better, all as human beings. Now, how do we rate this to B2B? A great quote from Rory Sutherland, who's over at Ogilvy, who wrote a really, really cool piece recently. I forget the name. I will flash it up. The editor will flash it up somewhere here. But his quote is that just because you put on a suit to go to work, it does not mean you stop being a human being. And this is absolutely right. We spend like 60% of our days at work. So obviously, a big part of what we're trying to do is optimize for whatever's going on at work. That's supposed to make us happy in some way. And if you think about how we're made happy in our work, it's because we're able to do well and then earn more money. We have more job security, we have less anxiety about our future ability to earn more money, and also we are held in high esteem by our work colleagues who think we're really smart, who think we're really progressive, whatever it is that we think that people at work should hopefully think about us. So this is the frame of mind you need to approach your content. Every company out there nowadays that is quite serious, especially, and I'm talking mainly to B2B companies here, is producing content. And they're producing, in many cases, very similar content to what you produce. So they're producing guides, they're producing ebooks, they're making webinars. So standard content strategy usually revolves around looking at your personas of your companies and giving them relevant information that helps them succeed in their job, and thereby looking at you as the expert and therefore nurturing them and building trust with them so that they eventually get in touch with you. But I'm saying that you can add in an extra layer in your content and your advertising which accounts for this desire to increase human status. What this looks like in practice is, let's say I as an agency was targeting marketing managers, okay? And I want them to like my brand, fall in love with my brand, fall in love with what I do, and ideally one day get in touch with me when they're looking for an agency. So let's say that was my whole shtick, right? I could create a guide which was a guide to retargeting. I always use guide to retargeting, I don't know why in these videos, but let's say I made an ebook that was the 2021 guide to retargeting. Now, this is relevant to my audience. They are interested in retargeting. Many of them might want to download this, but let's face it, how many other agencies am I competing against that are also talking about retargeting? There's loads of information. You can just Google about it and you'll find great resources. So it's kind of a little bit dry, correct? So what we want to do is we actually want to talk past the person's corporate interests and actually tap into the marketing manager's psychology, which is ultimately what they're doing at work. They're there, yes, to become better marketers, but they're becoming better marketers so that they can earn more money, so that they have more job security, so they work with more interesting people that hold them in high esteem. So what I want to do in my ad copy and my content copy is not to just say the vanilla title. I want to say something that addresses the human on the other side. So I want to say how this marketing manager doubled online revenues using this one retargeting secret that no one knows about. That is a far more interesting way of plugging into not only relevance, but hijacking the desire for human status. What it's done is by singling out their job title, they immediately understand it's them. They know what comes with doubling revenues for a company. They know that they will become indispensable. They can also see that it's a secret thing that maybe nobody else has, so they're going to look really intelligent if they understand what this secret is. The actual underlying content may be similar in many ways. Of course, the content should be epic as well. But what I'm saying is that by modifying your titles, you can actually try and tap into the person's desire for human status. So if you're targeting, say, founders of companies, talking about things like doubling revenues, talking about things like reduced recruitment costs. Why do people run businesses? They want to make a load of money and hopefully sell it one day and retire and live the life of Riley. And so if we know that this is what their end goal is, then why don't we just show them, connect the dots, how your service or your content is going to help them, and make it very clear and remind them, hey, you know that thing that deep down you really want that's going to make you happy, or that you think is going to make you happy? Yeah, this thing that I'm offering you, this content, this advice, is a direct way for you to get there. So you need to bring it alive. You need to tap into the sense that I am on a quest for increasing my human status. I'm looking for things to do that. Here is something that potentially could do that. So this was just a quick recap. If you want more info on how human status work, I go into it at length in the document I just mentioned that you can access in the description box below. I also talk about new opportunity framing, about authority building, and the traditional content strategy approaches, which, if done all together and in the right circumstances, can have massive effects for increasing conversions on content downloads, lead magnets. I don't want to say with this that you should just make stuff up and just create inflammatory titles that are backed by nothing. But what I'm saying is, if you can align your content to this innate desire in human beings to be happy through increasing their wealth, or increasing their job security, or increasing their level of estimation by their colleagues at work, we're going to be able to get much better results, and your content will stand out in the sea of similar content above everybody else. If you enjoyed this video, if you like the takes, these hot takes that I'm giving, make sure you subscribe down below and smash the like button. It's just literally an inch away from your mouse cursor right now. Do that, and it helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm and keeps me motivated to give you all this awesome content myself. How about that? All right, well, if I don't hear from you soon, then I will see you on another video. Take care. Cheers.